Welcome to Training Marks Java Coding Challenges series. In this session, we'll discuss about one more coding challenge, that is, how do you find out whether the given number is a stepping number or not. So let us understand the logic, how to find out whether the given number is a stepping number or not. First, we'll understand what is a stepping number. So stepping number is a number whose all digits, the absolute difference should be 1. Example, suppose you take 1, 2. So if you take the digits like 1, 2, the difference is going to be 1. And similarly, if you take 2, 1, the digits 2, 1, the absolute difference is going to be 1. So like that, you take any number, example like you take 3 to 1, the absolute difference of each of its digits should be 1. Like the 3, 2, the difference is 1, and then 2, 1, the difference is 1. So like that, all the digits, adjacent digits, should have the absolute difference 1. So now let us understand what is the logic behind it. So how we are going to identify this. So first we need to take individual digits. So how we going to take, we know that every time we need to perform the remainder operation to get the digits, like it will now going to give you 1, and after that this 3 to 1 now should be 3 2. So to do that, what we do, 3 to 1 divided by 10, so that will become 32. So for this 32, we need to get the second digit. So now what you do, 32 we remind with the 10, now we're going to get 2. So this is what our previous digit, this is what our current digit. So you need to take two variables to hold, what is the previous digit and then what is the current digit. So then you need to find out the absolute difference between these two. So now if you say the current digit minus the previous digit, so the previous digit, in this case 2 minus 1, that is give you 1. But in other situations, like you may have 3 okay, example, we'll take 1 2. So in 1 2, so if you perform this, now the current digit is going to be 2, the previous digit is going to be 2, and then the current digit is going to be 1. But if you calculate like 1 minus 2, it is going to give you minus 1. So in both these situations, the absolute difference is nothing but 1 2, the difference is going to be 1. We don't need to treat it as minus 1. So when the difference is coming as minus 1, you also need to treat this difference as 1. That is what the basic logic. So like that, you need to iterate through this loop to find out for each difference the difference is 1 or not. If it is not 1, probably you can break the loop. So here we're going to take while loop or for loop. You can take nested while loop to demonstrate this program. So let's write the code in Eclipse. So let me create a new Java class. So now I'm taking a new Java class and then giving this class name as stepping number, and click on main and click on finish. So the logic is quite simple. First we are going to take a number as an input, and then we are going to check whether it is a stepping number or not. To take the number as an input, so I'm going to print system.out.println. I'll say that enter number, and then this number will take it with the help of our scanner class. So scanner is equals to we are going to instantiate the scanner object, new scanner of system.in. Now we are going to take scanner dot nextInt method and then initializing that to the variable number. So this is what our number variable, that whatever the user enters, that will be stored in a variable called number. So now we need to find out this number is a stepping number or not. According to our previous logic, so first we need to divide this number and then we get the reminders, and then the previous digit, current digit, we need to compare. Look, how many number of times you need to compare is, suppose you take 1 2 as an example, or 3 to 1 as an example. So now the differences of these two digits are, first we need to check the difference between 3 and then 2, that is 1, and then second we need to check the difference between 1 and then 2, then we need to say it is a minus 1, but still we need to consider it as 1, it should be 2 minus 1, so either of the one you can do is 1. So then we need to say that it is a stepping number. But here how many number of times you need to continue this loop is, so if you take the count are what we do is every time we check this condition whether the previous digit and current digit the difference is 1, we just increment a variable, and then this variable, if you increment, example, I'll take a variable called count. This count I'll just increment it every time if I find the difference is 1. So in this case, if this program successfully runs, the count variable is going to be 2, because we're going to check 3 minus 2, that is going to be 1, and then 2 minus 1, that is going to be 1. So the count will be incremented 2 times. But how do you check whether it is a stepping number or not? If you take 3 digits, the count will become 2. Means what? Minus 1. So first of all, I need to know what is a digit count. The digits is going to be 3. So ultimately, when I can say it is a stepping number is, so ultimately a condition should satisfy digits is equals to the count plus 1. So either of the one. So in this case, if this is true, then I can say the given number is a stepping number. So this is the logic I'm going to follow now. So what I'm going to do is, now let me comment out this, the whole code. So now what I do is, first I'll take to count the number of digits. So if you look at our previous programs, so what I will do is, first to count the number of digits, now I'm storing this number into a temporary variable, temp is equal to number. Now I'll say to count, I'll say that digits is equal to 0, and then I'll say while temp greater than 0, then we are going to say that digits count, we need to increment digits plus plus. So before that, what we need to do is, then we need to say the temp is equals to temp divided by 10. So here I'm going to get the count of my digits. So if you want to check, we can directly check what is the count of our digits. Now let me run this program to check what is the digit count. Now when I'm running is 3 to 1, I'll check. Now the digits as 3. Now we got the digits as 3. Now then I need to write a logic to count the differences and then find out each and every number, and then each and every number I need to check what is the difference. So I'm just comment out this, I don't want to print the digit count now. So what I do is, now to perform the previous digits and then the current digits, to perform remainder operation and division operation, so what I'm going to do is, I'll take another variable to demonstrate this. I'll say temp underscore number or any variable. So just I'm going to use this temp underscore number variable to perform, to check or to calculate the previous digit and then the current digit. So what I'm going to do is, so now here I'm going to run a loop saying that while, okay, so I'm going to say that, while the temp underscore number is greater than 0. So now what I need is, I need to calculate the current digit, and then I need to find out the difference between the previous digit. So what I do is, I'll take a variable here, I'll say this as a previous digit is equals to some, I'll initialize to 0 or minus 1, whatever the value that you want to initialize it to. So once you initialize that to some value, so what we do is, now we need to get the current digit. So to the current digit, I'm going to take integer c is equal to this. We need to initialize within the while loop, because every time you're performing an operation, the current digit value is going to come. It's just like a reminder. So now is equal to, now what we do, now temp underscore num mod 10. This is what our current digit is going to come. So now how you are going to check whether the difference between the previous digit and the current digit. So to do that, what we need to check is, because we'll check a condition here, we want to check whether the previous digit not equal to minus 1 or not, because previously it will be minus 1. I don't need to check if it is a minus 1. I need to check if it is not equal to minus 1 or not. So how we are going to find out the difference? So to find out the difference, simply what we do is, I'm going to create a variable difference is equal to, I'll say current digit minus previous digit. So this is now going to give me the difference. So if this difference is 1, then probably I need to count a variable. So to count a variable, what I need to do is, I'll take one more variable here, that is, I'll say this int difference count. So initially I'll declare it to 0. So now here, if this difference value is equal to 1, I'll increment it, or if it is not equal to 1, probably I need to break. I don't need to continue, right? So what I do is, if this difference not equal to 1, then simply I can say I don't need to continue. I just simply can say break, and then probably the value is going to be something else. So I can say that it is not a stepping number. Else what I do is I will increment this diff underscore count, the difference count variable, every time. So now the logic is going to be simple. Now here first we are going to get the current digit, and then we initialize the previous digit to some value. You can take any value here. Now here, if this previous digit is not equal to -1, we are going to say we are going to calculate the difference of the current digit minus previous digit. And then if the difference is not equal to -1, I don't need to continue, because sometimes you may get 3 and then 5, the difference is going to be 2. I don't need to continue, it's not a stepping number. So then I can simply say break. Otherwise, so this loop should keep on continue to find out my digit, current digit minus previous digit. If it is equal to 1, then this else block will keep on executing, and then we are going to increment the diff count. So after you incrementing this diff count, okay, this is what my if block. So once it is over, then what I need to do is, now I need to divide my temp number should be updated by saying temp num divided by 10. So it is now going to take the other iteration. So now after this, what I need to do, now the previous digit I need to now store the current digit. Now the current digit value will change now, because we need to go to the left side of it. So now what happens, the current digit now will become the previous digit. So like that we need to keep on iterating. So but how many number of times this loop will continue is, this loop will continue till we say that if, or let us try to print what is the digit number of digits count, and then what is the difference count. So first I am going to print how many number of digits that I have in my stepping number, and then I will check what is my difference count. So in our logic, if you check, the difference count should be digits -1. So we'll check by checking with a number. Let us say I'll say 3 to 1. In this case, you see the digits is going to be 3, but the difference counts is 2, because it's a stepping number. So now what I can say is, here I can check a logic saying that if the difference count is equals to digits -1, or either of the one, you can say digits -1, then you can say that system.out.println, the given number, entered number, is a stepping number. Else it is not a stepping number. So let me run this program to check. Else system.out.println, I'll say number plus is not a stepping number. So this is what my code. Let me run it. So here I'll enter 3 to 1. Now it says it's a stepping number. Let me run it with other number to check 4, 7, 8. So it says that 4, 7, 8 is not a stepping number, even though 7, 8 difference is 1, but the 7, 4 difference is not 1. That's why it is saying it's not a stepping number. So this is the program, like how you find out whether the given number is a stepping number or not. Or in addition to this program, sometimes they'll ask you to print the stepping numbers between a range, example till 1 to 1000 or something like this. So this program we have been keep on discussing. So now what we do is, so instead of finding out for a particular number, here we'll take it as a range. Now instead of this number, we'll now take it as the range. Now here what we do is, we initialize the integer number is equal to 1. I will say while the number less than or equal to range. So this is what we are going to add, and then here once it is now over, then we are going to say the number plus plus, and then we are closing our outer while loop. This is what we are doing. So here I don't want to print whether it is a stepping number or not, and then simply I want to print all the stepping numbers which are separated by comma, and then here we are going to say this. Okay, now just let me run this program just to demonstrate. Okay, just let me close my main method too. So now this is what my logic. So let me run. Now here I'm just want to check within the range of 1000. So if you look at your logic, so now single digit numbers are by default stepping numbers, because the digits are just simple digits. Now here 10 1 0 and then 2 1 and 3 2 4 3, but here one more problem is coming, like see 3 4 is not coming, and then here also 2 3 is not coming and 1 2 is not coming. Why? Because the logic whatever you have written here, as I explained here, the difference we are just checking only 1. If it is not 1, we are just breaking. Sometimes the difference comes as -1 also. Example, suppose if you take 1 2, okay, 1 2, according to our logic, now it will become -1 -2. 1 -2 is going to be -1. So when it is -1, this condition is true. It says that if difference is not equal to 1, it's just simply breaking. In that case, different count will not be incremented. So what simple we do is, I write an additional logic here saying that if difference double equals to -1, I will consider this difference as 1 only. Because that is what the absolute difference, whether it is -1 or 1, we need to consider the difference as 1 only. So now in this case, let me run it. So here I'm going to take the range as 1000. So if you look at the program now, okay, now you look at 1 2, we got it, 2 1, 2 3, 3 2, 3 4, 4 3. So whether difference is 1 or -1, now it is going to consider. So this is what all the stepping numbers within the range of 1000. So this program demonstrates how do you find out the stepping numbers within a range.